Today, let's talk about Ansible Automation Platform, for short AAP. I'm going to show you in this video how to deploy AAP using container, or in other words, containerized installation. So let's go to the video. Let's start by the beginning, by our documentation, docs.redhat.com. This is going to show all the information that we need at this moment. We can scroll down, click on this Explore All Products. From here, you can type Ctrl F or Command F, Ansible. You see Ansible Automation Platform. And check this out, Ansible 2.6 was released a few days ago. So this is a brand new version with a lot of new features, a lot of cool stuff. I'm pretty confident that you enjoy. Here you can see different documentations. The one that I'm gonna use is this one, Containerized Installation. You can see that we have different kind of deployment. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use this one. And this is that kind of implementation that, for instance, you're brand new on Ansible, you like to see how this application works, and then, okay, how can I deploy this one to put like my first steps, like baby steps. This is a very, very common deployment that we can see in different scenarios. So let me open this documentation. As always, I like to click on this drop-down menu, pick the single page, and as I also say, read the whole document. Spend some time here, check all the details, all the information in this document. We have a lot of information in this document, very, very complete guide. So yes, it's totally worth to spend some time before you get your hands dirty. But let's take a look real quick on this guide. Then we can see some information about the trial and evaluation. I'm also gonna cover in this video how you can get a trial. Let's say that right now you have no subscription at all. And then, okay, how can I request a trial? I'm gonna show you. So we have the node counting license, how this works, subscription type, different kind of subscriptions. So again, all the information will be very, very detailed. I would like to show you one point over here, which is chapter 2.2. We can see the system requirements. Yes, you need to do a double check on system requirements. I'm gonna go straight to this one. We need a subscription. If I would like to see my tool, if I would like to access the tool, the WebUI, and use the tool, I need a subscription to have access to it. So yes, this is the trial that we'll be using this video, but we can also see here the operating system. I can deploy Ansible Automation Platform 2.6 on top of RHEL 9 or on top of RHEL 10. In this video, we will be using RHEL 10. You can see the architecture that is supported, at least at this moment. We need also the package Ansible core, and then we have some specific versions over here. The browser that you'll be using to access the application, and also the database. So if we take a look, furthermore, we can see 16 gigs. So I prepare one machine exactly like this, 16 gigs, 4 vCPUs. The storage is also 60 gigs, if I'm not wrong. And basically that's it. We are pretty much ready to roll, thinking about our virtual machine. There are some additional information like, do I need to have DNS or name resolution up and running? As always, we recommend the DNS or name resolution working pretty well. But for the sake of this one, like I have my DNS working in my local environment, but for the sake of deployment, if you don't have the DNS or if you're still working on that, you can definitely add an entry in your etc hosts that will resolve to that IP address. So in the beginning, this is going to work, but for some specific services, yes, name resolution is always a requirement. So some steps over here about the repositories. You can see that for RHEL 10, I have only AppStream and BaseOS. And that's right, once there's a containerized deployment, we don't need to have special access to some specific repositories. We can just keep this one over here. So see, we can install Ansible core, we can install some additional packets, and basically that's it. And we can see here, this is optional, by the way. So wget, git core, rsync, and vim. But yeah, this definitely is gonna help you in your daily basis tasks. So let's move it on. We need to add a local user. Yeah, we will not be using root accounts for the sake of this video or for the deployment of AAP. We'll be creating one user, and that user is the one that we'll be using to deploy this application. It will be like a service account. Then we have some information here about the SUDO what we have to do, we have to put this user inside the SUDO, and check this out. We can see that there is no password. In other words, any command that this user execute with the SUDO in the beginning of the line will not request any password. We'll just pass through and we'll execute that command. Another point is downloading the AAP. So yes, we need to access the customer portal, download the tarball file that will provide all the information that we need. We'll do this in a few. And for the sake of this one, Ansible Automation Platform 2.6 Containerized Setup. If you ask me, Wally, I can see this setup and I can see this setup bundle. Should I download the bundle? Basically, the bundle will contain all the information, all the packets, additional execution environments. This is like 3 gigs or 4 gigs. This one is 3 megabytes. So if you have a good internet link, don't bother, just use this one and that's okay. So some additional steps, you'll be downloading this package, how to upload this to your machine. And in the end, let's extract. Pretty straightforward. After that, we have the inventory. And then you can see that we have one specific inventory for this all-in-one. And what I mean by that, all-in-one, we have different components on Ansible Automation Platform, and all-in-one exactly means that, like, I will be running all those components together in the same machine, in the same virtual machine. So this is the main idea of this implementation and for sure this video. So here is the configuration, the example that we have. We will check this in the codes, in the machine directly. But as we can see, there is this growth topology. And then, yes, we have two kinds of inventories, one which is the regular one, and another one for this kind of implementation. So it is already over there. We don't need to copy and paste this one. So moving on, we can see some additional information. This will also be necessary because we need access to our account in order to download those containers. So here we can see that we need to register a service account, we'll be creating a new service account. And at the end of the day, I will be able to see something like this, my test user or something like that, and the token. So with those information, the installer will be able to connect to the external registry and download all the images or pull all the images. Pretty cool, huh? Totally deserves your subscription. All right, we have some additional stuff here. Again, I will not spend the whole video just passing by all of them. And you can see that we are basically in the middle of the documents. The final piece that I would like to show you is this. Basically, how can I execute the installer? Because in previous version of Ansible, or specifically Ansible Automation Platform, there is one script called setup.sh. For this specific one, we don't have this file. We'll be calling Ansible playbook-i, passing the inventory. If you change the name of the file, just change the name here. We will not be doing that. And then I can call ansible.containerizedinstaller.install. Simple like that. This is going to start the installation. We'll deploy all the components. We'll populate everything that has to be populated. And at the end of the day, that's it. Our AAP will be up and running. As part of the next step, it will be necessary to upload the manifest. And then there you go. We should be able to access the WebUI and start using. So, all right. Here we can see how we can access HTTPS, then the name of our machine, colon 443, some additional information. Yeah, pretty cool. So first step, access.redhat.com. And all the links that I'm using here will be down below in the description, so don't bother, including the documentation. You can see I'm not logged at this moment, and let's assume that I have no account yet. So I can click on the top left side on downloads, and you can see some products like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux AI, some of them with Try It. This is not around the Red Hat Satellite, and for Satellite we have a different approach, but we can see over here Ansible Automation Platform and Try It. So I can click over there, and then this is going to say, hey, you can request a trial, but you need to log in. So let's do this. You need to create one account. So let's click on login. Here, if you have already one personal account, that's amazing. You can use that. If you don't have it, just follow the flow. Register for a Red Hat account, fill out the form, and put all the information about your account. And after that, you will be able to access using your personal account. So let me move it on and log in with my personal account. So now we can see that I'm logged. I can click over here and see some additional information about my personal account. And then definitely I can scroll to Ansible Automation Platform, try it out, click on the button, start a trial, and then there you go. This will be providing a 6 days subscription of Ansible Automation Platform. I'm not sure if the information is here, but we can see this is 400 nodes. And then a single entitlement, Red Hat Ansible Lightspeed with IBM Watson, automation analytics and Red Hat Insights on Hybrid Cloud Console, and also access to Red Hat award-winning customer portal, including documentation, helpful videos, discussions, and much, much more. So you can click over there. I did this already, so let me show you what will happen. After that, we can just click on subscriptions again, and then there you go. So you can see that I got this on 9th, and this will be valid for 2 months, expiring in less than 60 days. And this is a 6-day trial, product trial of Red Hat Ansible Automation Platform, self-support, 100 managed nodes. Hey, Wally, what does it mean self-support? Could I open a support case with Red Hat and get support from the support team? No, this is self-support. This will be on you. You can install the application, you can give it a try, you can try it out as much as you wish for 60 days. But remember, we saw before, you can access the customer portal, you can see some knowledge base, but unfortunately, you cannot open support case. You're not get in touch with a support guy because this is self-support, all right? All right, I have this one here. What now? The next step is basically the subscription or the manifest, or at least I like to start from here. If we came to this page and search by manifest, so obtaining the manifest, I can take a look on this, how to create a subscription location. The subscription location should be Satellite 6.16. This is the type and the version specifically. And then I need to add my subscription on that specific manifest. So let's do this. I can click on subscription locations over here. There is no subscription location in my account at this moment. I can click on create new one. I can put the name AAP01. This is the name of my server, but this is just a label just to help you out. The version, we remember, Satellite 6.16. What does this mean that I can install or deploy this on Satellite? No, this is for your AAP, but under the hood, the schema 6.16 is ready to roll with your AAP deployment or installation. So just pick this version. Let's click on create. And over here, we can click on subscriptions. And there is no subscription at this moment. We just create this manifest. Let's click on add subscriptions. We can see the subscription over here, 60 days. I have 100. Let me add all of them. Submit. This is going to add this subscription to that specific manifest. After that, just click on this export manifest. Save this file locally because we'll be using this in a few. Pretty good. If we return to subscription location, I can see the manifest is over here. I can see the number of entitlements. This is cool. And this is basically everything that we need about subscription. Now we have another section over there talking about downloads. So basically, let me open a new tab, access.redhat.com. I can click over here, downloads. Let's pick Ansible Automation Platform. And we'll be landing on this page. So yes, feel free to pick the correct version. In my case, I will be using RHEL 10 as a base OS. If you're going to pick RHEL 9 for any reason, you can change, but let me change this back. Whenever scrolling down, we can see over here, Ansible Automation Platform version 2.6, containerized setup. See, this is 3 megabyte-ish in size, and this one over here, 2.26 gigs. So it's not 3 gigs, 2 point something, which is good, but let's download this one. So just click on download now, download this file to your local machine, and pretty soon we'll be uploading this to our virtual machine. Pretty cool. We are done over here. So let's return to our terminal. This is the machine that I created for this implementation. If we take a look on the machine, we can see 4 vCPUs and 16 gigs of memory. Also talking about disk, 60 gigs. This is my total area on this disk, but you can see that I have some file systems over here. Again, come back to the documentation, just do a double check. Specifically, remember, you can see my disk over here is 60 gigs. You can see some file systems. Again, my device, come back to the documentation, do a double check in the orientation or recommendation that we have in that specific documentation. Just keep in mind, we'll be using a user. Our user, by default, will be under home. So basically, this is the file system that will be the most used for this kind of implementation, all right? Okay, let's take a look. There is nothing in this machine at this moment. So what I'm gonna do is just upload the file from my local machine to this one. I will be uploading just the tarball file that we just downloaded. If we take a look on our TMP, I was able to upload the file. I'm setting this file over there for now. So let's do some steps that we have in the documentation. I will not be following the documentation just to avoid this back and forth. I have my notes already. And then some of steps will be, let's create a new user. In my case, I'll be using the user admin. So this is my user. The next step is to set a new password for this user. There you go. My password was set. One more thing that I need to do here is to add this user in our SUDO configuration. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm doing an echo. I'm passing this content and I'm redirecting this to this dropping file. Are you familiar with dropping file? If not, let me know down below in the comments. But basically is this .d directory. So anything that I put inside of those directories, the SUDO is gonna just import that information and we apply the configuration. In this case, this one is specifically. So if we take a look on that specific file, there you go. For now on, the user admin will be able to do all this stuff just by passing sudo something, some command, and no password will be required or requested at all. Pretty cool. Now, are you ready for the first bonus? Bonus time, always in this channel. If I do something like this, admin, this is amazing because I can switch to this user and I can proceed with the installation. Is this gonna work? No, don't go this path, don't go this way. What you have to do is you have to get out from this machine and you have to reconnect using that user. So keep in mind your password and this is the way. And why is that? If you try to deploy and install the AAP by that way, that's gonna fail. We have already a knowledge base talking about this one. There are some requirements in the codes in the deployment process that will cause this behavior to fail. So in order to avoid, you have to get your full session. Just get out, getting back using the user, logging as the user, and that's it. This is gonna be enough. Let me do the same over here. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna log in back using my very powerful secret password. And now we are back. If we take a look here, I'm on my /home/admin directory. There is no file, just my hidden files, my configuration files. And now I can copy that Ansible to this place. Cool. At this moment, what I can do is basically extract this one. tar xvf, Ansible. This is gonna extract the whole thing. If I would like to rename this folder just to keep shorter, I can, not required. So let's go on Ansible. And from here, look at that. As I mentioned before, there is no setup.sh, the script. So this is one difference in this implementation. Another difference is this one. You can see inventory. This is for multiple servers, different servers. We don't want this one. We like to proceed with all in one, everything in a single machine. So we can see this inventory growth and check this out. We have one example already. So aap.example.com, aap.example.com, aap.example.com. It's like everyone pointing to the same machine, all in one. Pretty cool, huh? Here we have some variables like connect locally. We don't have to connect via SSH to all the external machines because, again, this is all in one. So this file is ready to roll, totally ready to deploy your all-in-one configuration. If we take a look more, let me use less here. We can see this registry username and password. So there is one more link that we need to access, and we can do this just to populate this information. And also, you see something like this, gateway admin password. You need to change this one to put your password. Gateway PG password. What is the password for the Postgres? You need to change. And here, no need, because this is already the name of your Ansible automation platform, the name of your server. In our case, we'll be changing all this information basically. So yeah, we can see Automation Hub, we can see controller, we can see the EDA, we can see different components of Ansible automation platform, AAP gateway. All right, so what I would like to do here is this. Let me copy this inventory growth on top of my inventory. That's okay. I don't know if we do have Vim, but we didn't finish all the steps. So let's recap. We just add the user, admin user, we set the password, we added this configuration to our SUDO. So yeah, SUDO is ready to roll. Now I would like to install some packets. And then let me do this first. Let me remove this SUDO and show what's gonna happen. See, I'm trying to execute dnf install -y Ansible core. I cannot, because this should be executed as a super user with some privileges. And then, okay, I can pass sudo. Are you gonna ask me for any password? Not at all, because in that configuration file, you just said no password. So let's move it on. All right, we got Ansible core and all the requirements. Next, let's deploy this one, wget, gitcore, rsync, and vim. Again, they are optional, but really recommended. So we can deploy all of them. Pretty cool. Next, let's update our inventory. Now it is the time that you will be changing some configuration. So can I do something like XXX, remove and then change? Yes. But let me show you some tips. Again, more bonus. In VI, if I would like to change the whole line, I can press C, keep my shift and press the dollar symbol. This is gonna change the whole line up to the end of the line. And then I can type aap.king.lab or aap01.king.lab. But while this is boring, because again, let's do C, shift, $, and then AAP. Okay, I almost saw APP. Okay, this is one way, but let me show a nice way here that you can do that. Colon, %s slash. What, or forward slash. What I would like to change, aap.example.org. And you can see that this is highlighting multiple lines. This is cool. This is amazing. Then I can put slash. I would like to substitute. That S is to substitute. I would like to change this information. I would like to change aap.example.org to something else. And what is this something else? aap01.king.lab. I also like to put another forward slash, that's G, because if I have multiple lines or multiple entries in the same line, I'm gonna change. Will not be the case here, but I'm old school, you know, so there we go. I press enter. If we go to the top of this file, check this out. We have aap01.king.lab, or let me search here, aap01. Then all of them got updated automatically. Totally deserves your subscription. Just this tip is amazing. This is pretty cool. See, we changed all of them. All right, now I would like to change some additional information. So we have this all set basically on the top, and then I would like to change this one over here. Set your own. So what is the Postgres admin password? I need to change one. Same idea. C, shift $sign, and then I can type something over here, but I need to change in different places. And yes, if you need to set different password for security reasons, whatever, you can put different passwords for each one of them. In our case, this is not necessary because I'm just doing this video just to show how simple it is to deploy AAP. So let's do this. I'm gonna do this. You tell me. Yeah, that's right. % S. So I would like to change that set your own. I can copy and paste, but let's do this. Set your own, closing. And then, okay, now I would like to set one password. Which one will be my password? Secret 123, which is pretty secret, you know? /G. And then again, this is gonna change all of them. So look at that. We have for EDA this password, EDA admin password the same. For Hub, we have this password. Secret, we have this password. All of them. So we are almost there. The last piece is this one, registry username and registry password. This is the credential that you'll be using to access the registry and pull the image. So if we come back over here in our documentation, we have this already. So let's take a look on registry. This is the link. Let me open this link. This is the page. You can see that in my account, I have nothing at all. So let's click on this new service account. I'll be adding here a P01 for video. And I can put some description. Oh, look at that. I cannot use underscore. Let me put hyphen. Hey, Wally, you could read, you know, it's over there. I agree. Here you can put some description, and let's create. So what's gonna happen is this is gonna give me this one. So let's click over there, and then I have this username and I have this token. Probably the time that you see this video, this will not be valid anymore because I'm gonna revoke and eventually destroy this one, get rid of this. But again, there is no problem at all to share this one right now because this is gonna be away pretty soon. So let me copy this guy. Let's come back to our file. This will be the username. And over here, we can just click on this button to copy, come back and paste. There you go. Now we have all the information. Everything is populated and that's it. One additional point here that I would like to add is on this specific section, all vars. We have already one specific issue that can happen whenever deploying the Ansible automation platform. And in order to fix this one, pretty soon this will be available in the code already, so you don't need to worry about this. But at this moment, this is a recommendation, like you can pass client underscore request underscore timeout. This is a variable equal 240. Basically, this will change some settings on different components that will allow this timeout just to be bigger and avoid some issues, some fails during the deployment of the application, okay? Amazing. So let's save this one. Let me use this at the bottom right now. This is the folder. And as before, we just have this command over here, Ansible playbook -i inventory. Again, we just override that inventory file. This is the one that we're using right now, AAP01. And we are calling everything from here. And that's it. Let me put some stuff here. Podman PS. Okay, there is no Podman. PS, Podman image. There is no Podman image yet. So Podman PS. because, we always like to see what's going on under the hood. So at this moment, Podman is not one application that we have in this machine yet. And this machine is getting content from the customer portal, specifically base OS and AppStream. I didn't show that, I don't believe. Why not? So DNF repo list-v. Let's take a look. See, we have here base OS and AppStream. This is also in our documentation requirements. And I'm getting this from customer portal. I'm sorry about that. So let's keep this one here. What this is going to do is we can see already, hey, install container tools. This is going to install some stuff, including Podman, because for this deployment, for this implementation, we are using Podman under the hood. Look at that beauty. Now, we don't have comma not found anymore. We have the information. Let me add one echo over here. See, this is the image or images. This is the container that are up and running. At this moment, we have nothing. And then definitely you can take a peek at the bottom and see, hey, pull the control plane containers image. So right now what will happen is this installer is gonna be downloading, pulling all the images. We'll be doing all the necessary configuration. And at the end of the day, we will see a lot of images, a lot of containers up and running, and as well your application. So this is definitely amazing. See, we have already this image locally, the hub web for Rel 9. Also we have the gateway proxy Rel 9, and there we go. This is just moving. Okay, let's do this. This is gonna take some time, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I will wait for this to finish, and whenever we get this ready, I will be back with you. And we are back, and check this out. I told you 15 minutes. No, much more than that. I'm gonna show you, but let me show you this. I'm gonna stop this terminal on the top real quick. Let me resize. We can see at the bottom that the play finished successfully. Like we can see this is a local machine, and then we can see how many OKs, how many changed, how many skipped, like 0 fail, 0 unreachable, 0 rescue, and 0 ignore. So this is telling us everything seems to be fine, seems to be okay. We'll come back just to see under the hood, see some logs and some additional information, but let's go to the WebUI. So right now, as we saw in our documentation, I can put something like aap01.king.lab, and this will be HTTPS, no typo, and look that beauty, totally deserves your subscription. If you're not yet subscribed, this is the right time. So let's click on Advanced, Proceed, and there we go. This is the WebUI or web interface of Ansible Automation Platform. And now we can authenticate. And if you ask me, Wally, what is the credential? Remember, let's come back over here. Let me show you again inventory. We set the similar password to all the components, but basically it's something like this. We have the credential and we have the password. So here we have the password for gateway, controller, automation hub, EDA. So now we know the password. This will be secret123. So let's give it a shot. Secret123. And we are in. This is the initial screen. Let me bump a little bit. This is the initial screen. And from here, there are some ways that you can add the subscription or the license for your AAP. You can do this via manifest, and we already have the manifest. So we can basically browse the file and upload. But hear me out. You can also click on service account and you can type your credential. So you don't need to go and create the manifest and download the manifest. If you wanna, if you like to, you can definitely use your credential, password. You can pick the subscription over here. This is gonna work in the same way. Once I already have the manifest, let me pick the manifest. Just click on browse, pick the file, and that's it. Here we can see the manifest was selected. I can just hit next. And this is the end user license agreement. If you ask me, Wally, do you recommend me to read this one? Yes, totally. Any document, independent of the document, I recommend it to read the whole document just to be aware of the points and the information. This is not different. At the bottom, you can see the checkbox. I agree to the terms of the license agreement, so we can definitely check that checkbox and hit next. And then this is the review. Like, I have my subscription that was assigned. I have the agreement that I accepted. And maybe you're asking, if you do not accept, can you proceed? I don't know. We can give it a shot. See, there is a warning. You have to agree. So yeah, this is a requirement. Pretty cool one. So we have the subscription, we have the agreement, and then finish. And here we are. Now we have our AAP, which is up and running. So let me get out. Let's click on logout. And if I type the credential once again, there we are. I'm not sure if you saw, I believe you didn't see the logout, but I click it over here on top of the user and then logout. So let's log in back. All right, this is pretty cool. We were able to see like the whole installation process. And let me do a quick overview over here. This is the new WebUI. There are a lot of features. We can refresh, we can put this on dark modes or not. We can see some warnings, notifications. Question mark will point you to some documentation links. This is gonna show the information about the username. Wow, again, the question mark is gonna present you some documentation. This is gonna show you the user information and also logout. So I can put that again behind my head. And aside, you can see some different components. And yes, long ago on Ansible, we used to have like different web UIs for different applications. And nowadays, everything's combined like a single panel. So we have automation execution, and then all your executions, templates, schedule, project, everything will be here under automation execution or automation controller. So we have automation decisions, and this is the EDA, aka event-driven Ansible. A lot of cool stuff. And again, you can navigate from here. You can see all the features about event-driven Ansible. If we take a look on the next, this is automation analytics. So we have this calculator or automation calculator, host metrics, subscription usage. Yes, you can check all those information from your AAP interface, so WebUI. We also have the automation hub, and then namespace, collections, execution environments. All of your execution environments will be here. And check this out. We can see over here like 3 execution environments, but Wally, we just downloaded 3 megabytes. The start was just 3 megabytes. Yes, the machine was able to pull all the images, all the artifacts, all the necessary information packets, images, everything, just to populate your AAP. And in this case, execution environments on your automation hub. Pretty cool. So we can see signature keys, repositories, some information, it is already pre-populated, which is expected, and some of them will be empty like this. So let me collapse this one. So here we have Ansible Lightspeed. Just click on this link and then you can get some additional information about the Lightspeed. And look at that. Over here we have authentication. Basically, we can configure different kind of authentication to your AAP, which is pretty cool, pretty amazing. Organizations, teams, users, role, again, everything in a single panel. Then we have settings, some additional information, subscriptions. You can see over here the subscription, how many days are remaining, when this is gonna expire, if this is trial or not, how many hosts remaining, how many hosts deleted, hosts automated. So this is gonna give you like an overview about your environment and many more information, platform gateway, user preference. And finally, we can see quick start. So basically quick start will allow you to see a lot of different information that will help you during this learning process. So for instance, let's take a look at the first one. Building a decision environment. I would like to know what is this, how to do, how to proceed. And I can see here the time is nearly 5 minutes, so I can click on Start. Decision environments are a container image to run Ansible rulebooks. They create a common language, yada, 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 so I can take a look, and then you can see there is a link. So, okay, let me click on this link that will build a decision environment. And then I can see now step by step how to build a decision environment. This is very helpful, especially when you are learning. So you can definitely click on next, and then you can see, okay, you successfully completed the building a decision environment steps. If you wanted to learn how to create an inventory, because this is important, take the creating an inventory quick start, and then I can click over here and we'll change. You can see that this one, it is already completed because I finished that one. So let me show you this. If I would like to restart this one for any reason, I can definitely just click on restart, and then that complete is gone. So I can close over here. Again, feel free to spend some time in your environment, in your lab, just passing through all of them. You can see creating users, dynamic inventory, creating a project, a lot of cool stuff. But the main idea, the main goal of this video was to show how simple it is just to deploy your AAP and then get this environment beautifully up and running. As I said before, let's come back to the terminal and let me show you some additional stuff. Some information that I would like to share here. This is your AAP directory, the one that we downloaded. So in general, we just keep this folder over here with all the files inside. And for any reason, if I would like to rerun that command, yeah, that's okay. I can run multiple times. If something is wrong with your environment, just run this command once again, and this is gonna fix any possible problem, all right? And eventually, if you like to do some change in your environment, you can change your inventory file and rerun this command. This is one thing. Should I delete this one? Not necessary. You can keep, and as I said before, anytime you can rerun this to change something or to fix something that probably is wrong, is broken. Should I keep this one over here? Not necessary. I can delete this tarball file because we don't need this anymore. One more thing underneath this guy. We have this file, AAP install.log. Yeah, you can see that. This is the log of the installation. If I'm not wrong, I told you, okay, maybe 15, 20 minutes to install. Not at all, definitely not. You can see that I started this at midnight 30. And yes, was a long journey. You can see 4:30. So basically 4 hours just to finish everything. Was a good run because we got no errors at all, no issues at all. And probably if I added more resources on my virtual machine, this could be faster. But again, we followed the rules. We set the minimal required for this implementation. 4 hours, that's okay. No big deal. And all the information will be here on this log file. Another thing that I would like to show you is this one, AAP. So first, let's see the size of this guy. I'm curious. We have some permission here, but 3 gigs. Okay. And what is this? This is all the files that you have running on top of your containers. Like we are mapping the container to the file system. And basically this is the point where your containers are saving files. So let me install one package over here. Let's use the sudo dnf install 3. Let's pass -y just to be quick. And now, look at that. We have app or AAP, containers, Podman, storage, and then we have a lot of cool files over here and folders, and all the structure are here. So common question, Wally, can I remove this folder? Don't do that. Don't go this path. This will be really bad. If you remove this folder, what's going to happen is your container will start failing because there is no more storage to save this file. Probably you need to access this folder, rerun this command, Ansible playbook -i inventory, and then all the rest, just to recreate this folder structure, repopulate all the information, and put your environment back. But keep in mind, if you have already some information over there, they will be gone. So take a good care of this little one because this is precious, okay? Another thing that I would like to show you here, and this is under the hood, as we do as always in this channel. Bonus time, you got it. Podman images. We saw those images. This is locally, and this will be stored in your local file system. Podman, yes. Let me resize this a little bit just to be better, the visualization. Yeah, you can see over here some of them. Basically, this is the list of containers that we have running on this machine just to put everything up and running, working as expected. So over here we can see the Postgres. This is listening on this port. This is up and running up to 4 hours. This was created 4 hours ago. And this is the command. And here basically is the container that we are using. So Postgres 15 latest. And it is the same for most of them. Like we have the Redis, Redis TCP, Redis Unix, Automation Gateway, Receptor, different components, Automation Hub, Automation EDA, controllers. Again, some of them will be listening on some specific ports. Pretty cool one. Final point, final question that is very common. If I restart my machine, all those services will be back automatically? Yes, automatically those services will be back. We have some services that will be running on top of this user. I can give you a little hint over here. Underneath config, we can see that systemd and then user and some files over here. This is where the magic happens, because whenever we restart the machine, systemd is going to manage this properly and will put all the services back up and running. In other words, if you restart this machine, fear not, because whenever the machine is back, you should be able to access your AAP and land on this page or eventually this one. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to join us in our Discord channel. This is basically the first video about Ansible, like a complete one. This topic is amazing. Ansible Automation Platform is one amazing tool, amazing product. You can do a lot of amazing stuff. Let me know down below in the comments which kind of video, subject, content you like to see about Ansible and also about different topics. I'll be more than glad to be working on them. And that's it. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.